Hey everyone, well I'm back here at the O gauge switching layout that is currently under construction, and I've made some progress since the last video. All the track is installed and it's wired up, and so we can actually run some trains on here in a way that's actually going to work pretty well now that everything is at least securely in place and all the joints are good and all the wiring is good on this little layout project. So anyway, let's take a look at how I got to this point. I'm using this 20 gauge 2-conductor wire, which is kind of thin for O gauge, but it just makes it easy to do the wire connections. I'm not running long lengths of wire here, and everything can be connected to a heavier gauge wire underneath the layout. But this thinner wire does just make it easier to do the connections to the track itself. And I'm using the black wire for the outside rails and the red wire for the rail in the middle. That's just the convention that I'm using. So I'm stripping the black wire a couple inches from the end and then at the end, and then just sliding the insulation over. This way I can solder this to one rail joiner and this to the other outside rail joiner, and just slide those in place. And then the red wire I'm cutting so it's right about in the middle and then stripping that. Then I'll just add some solder to the rail joiner. Make a puddle on each one. For the black ones, you do need to file off that coating. Otherwise, you'll have a real hard time getting any solder to stick. So now with the solder on the rail joiner, I can just basically hold the wire and hold the soldering iron, and it's just one less thing to have to hold. I don't have to hold the solder as well. Alright, so now I have my 3 rail joiners all wired up and I can install them on the track. In this case, they're going to one of these short pieces. And to get the wires to fit here, I do have to cut off these plastic locking pins. You could feed the wires through this opening and then solder them to the rail joiners, but that's just more work to do. And so in terms of trying to kind of do things in place, and so I'll just go ahead and cut off this piece here. And then, the wires will fit through there without any issue at all. Alright, so there's my wires to the bottom of those 3 rail joiners. This piece is going to go right here, so I can just feed the wires through the hole. And this part is ready to go. So I have to do 6 more sets of those wired connectors, and basically I'm doing one on either side of any of these turnouts or the crossing, just so I'm not relying on the crossing or the turnout to actually transmit power all the way across it. There are connector wires here underneath these, but these are relatively thin, and so there's always some possibility that those could break, and then you end up having a section of track isolated, so it doesn't hurt to have a lot more connectors. So anyway, let me go ahead and get all of these extra rail joiners wired up and finish getting everything installed. to secure the track to the layout base, I'm using these Atlas O screws. These screws work really well because they're designed to fit through the holes in the track. All I'm doing here is pre-drilling a hole into the plywood everywhere I plan to put one of these screws and then hand tightening them in place. Now, I'm not putting a screw in every single hole, just about one screw per section of track, so it's enough to hold the track down securely. Nothing's really going to shift around too much. If I move the layout off the shelf here and turn it upside down, nothing's going to fall off. But at the same time, if I do end up needing to shift the track a little bit so everything works better, I'm not going to have to remove like 40 or 50 screws either. So for now, this will work really well and I can run some trains. Okay, so all the basic wiring is done and the track is installed. The underneath wiring is just pretty much all kind of bundled together for now, and everything's just temporarily wired to an external power supply. So I'm controlling the train using Bluetooth with my phone, and then really all I need to do is supply power to the track and everything works fine. So that's the current setup for now. Okay, so now let's actually do a couple little test runs here and see how all of this works. So I'm not going to use any kind of elaborate control system here. I'm just plugging in the AC adapter here on the wall that's supplying 16 volts to the track. And then I'm just using the Lionel Chief app on an iPad to control everything. So a pretty low budget way to do all the operations. So let's go ahead, get everything fired up and try it out. Okay, so I have the Lionel Chief app pulled up on my iPad mini, and I can use that to control the locomotive. And this really nice slow speed operation is a really great benefit of O-scale O-gauge locomotives. With their physically large size, you have a lot better power pickup and things like that, and so things just tend to work a lot better. So I'm just going to pull this car and swap it with the one over here, just as a little simple test. I don't have quite enough room with this 50-foot car, and I ran off the edge of the track there. So there's a different way I can switch this. Park it over here, then I can pull back and get it, and then get it over here that way. And there we go. Simple switching operation, low speed control, all works great. So anyway, yeah, things are going well with the O-gauge switching layout, no real problems. All the switching operation runs great. It's nice having the large physical size of the O-scale locomotive, makes everything work really, really well with that slow speed operation. So yeah, things are coming along. Track is going good. The wiring is fine. I'll again kind of redo the wiring a little bit in terms of having like an actual jack to plug in the adapter and having an on-off power switch to control things, that kind of stuff. But I'll get to that sometime down the road when I'm finishing up, maybe lighting for structures and things like that. Because I don't know exactly where I want all the plugs and switches and things, just because that might vary based on where I have, lighting or whatever else in the layout. So I'll probably just do all that at one time once I kind of know where I want to have sort of a bank of switches or whatever. But anyway, that's all going well. Again, the next steps here are going to be doing more work with the track. So you got to paint everything. Maybe I'll try a little bit of ballasting and just kind of play around with different things to see what I want to do. Yeah, it's kind of one of those things, just trial and error to see what looks good to my eye and what I feel happy with. Maybe it may not be what actually is true to scale, but what looks better with lighting and everything else. So we'll see how that goes. But things to play around with. But main thing, I'll be getting everything painted for the track so it looks better and that kind of thing. And then I have to worry about getting the structures ordered that I want to do. I have this one O-scale structure that I built already, and I plan to have pretty much this entire back part of the layout one large warehouse, sort of floor-to-ceiling type structure, a big thing back there. And so I have to work on that in terms of figuring out, what parts I need and all that kind of stuff. So that'll be a thing too. But anyway, progress is happening. It's fun to operate this with the slow speeds and large size of O-scale. So definitely having some fun with it. But anyway, again, I'm not going to have weekly videos here throughout the summer. A lot going on, and I'm just behind. I haven't really had a chance to get ahead like I normally had done in the past, where I was working usually at least 3 weeks ahead in the videos. So if I took 2 weeks off, didn't matter. I had a bank of 3 or 4 videos already in the queue. Didn't make any difference in terms of missing any weeks. But I don't have anything at all banked up right now. And so I'm hopefully going to be able to do that a little bit during the summer. And so I'll have videos every other week or so, maybe every 3 weeks in some cases if there's a vacation or a trip or whatever. But at least hopefully a couple times per month. And then I'll hopefully be able to accumulate a little bit of a bank of videos by, say, September, if I'm lucky. And then I can go back to a weekly schedule and I won't have to worry about missing a week here or there with travel or work stuff or whatever. And I'll be able to kind of keep that weekly cycle going again like I had for the last couple of years. But for the summer, it's going to be a little hit and miss the way it looks right now. But I'll try to get as much content out as I can. But anyway, that's all for now, and thanks for watching. Bye.